GreatTastesMB.ca is your online source for over 300 tried and true recipes, full episodes on demand, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content, including features on Manitoba's farm families. Subscribe today.
Memories of Japan. We are back. Great Taste of Manitoba and Manitoba Pork. Susan Reese had the pleasure of visiting Japan a little while ago and has come back with all of these amazing recipes. The third of which tonight is pork tonkatsu. And it's, as it was explained to me, sort of a Japanese version of schnitzel.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah, it seems that every country has its own version of this type of dish.
Okay.
And
this is
go
the
figure.
Japanese version. Okay, awesome. So how do we're going to start with the sauce, which is kind of what you were saying. This is the whole thing right here.
Right. So other than the delicious pork that we're using, the tonkatsu sauce is definitely going to make this dish. So it's really an elevated version of what we would consider, I guess, ketchup.
Okay.
So basically what we're starting with is some ketchup, some low sodium soy sauce, rice vinegar, and a little bit of Worcestershire. We're going to add to that our dry ingredients, which is essentially dry mustard, some garlic powder, ground allspice, and some ground ginger.
So how did you come up with these recipes? Is this just sort of kind of what your adaptation of what you thought you were having when you were there?
Yeah, that and Google.
Sure. God love Google.
That helps.
Google's good.
And then once that's mixed up, you can just set that aside because you're just going to serve it at room temperature anyways.
Okay, just when you're ready to use it. Okay.
Exactly.
Great.
Okay, so then on to our pork chops. So we're using boneless pork loin, center cut chop. And we're going to pound it thin. Yes.
I was hoping that's what your plans were for that thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So easiest way to do that, put some saran on top because you don't want splatter all over the place.
Don't make the mistake that I did the first time that I tried this, which was to put nothing on there and
Are you ready?
meat spray everywhere.
Here we
Yes,
go.
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
What we want to do, as you can see, this does a great job, is just pound it down to about 1/4 of an inch. You want to make sure you do it even everywhere.
Is there a reason why you're not using like
I don't want to
more
tenderize
menacing-
it, and I don't want to pierce through my saran wrap.
Fair.
So I'm using the flat side.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take long, hey? Sort of flattens
not
it right
really.
out.
All right, there we go.
Cool.
Then on to our breading. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by just seasoning both sides with a little bit of salt and pepper. Des, I might just get you to check that the chops that are browning there because we want to make sure that they're not overcooked. Yep, that's great. And then from there, I'm going to start doing my my breading. So I'm going to dip in some flour. Just shake off the excess. It's going to basically help the egg wash to stick and the breadcrumb to stick. Dip into a mixture of some beaten egg and a little bit of water.
Countryside Farms Vita eggs.
And then onto our panko. So the panko we're using here, it's actually gluten-free panko. So it's made from rice flour, not wheat. So that's why it looks a little bit more like, almost like crushed cornflakes.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool how you basically all of these recipes, including the first one that we made, which was the pork belly ramen with the noodles, could have also used the rice noodles or the soba noodles.
Yeah, exactly.
If gluten is an issue in your house.
So once you've got that coating on there, you want to let them dry a little bit. So we've got a few here on a drying rack that we've already done.
Okay.
And and that again is going to help the coating stick once you before you put it into the frying pan.
So you just let them hang out for
like 5-10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No big deal. How is this looking?
That's looking really, really good. So what you want to do is make sure your pan is nice and hot. Put plenty of oil in there. We probably could have used a bit more oil. You're almost deep frying, but you're not immersing the whole thing in oil. Let them cook a few minutes on each side, and then you just put them on a paper towel lined plate to drain off that extra fat. And that's basically our Japanese pork schnitzel.
Okay.
Now there's So go ahead.
No, just in terms of like serving it, because I kind of see what you've got
Right.
going on here. So what you have is a Napa cabbage, right? And then you would just put your tonkatsu on top of that and just...
Yeah, you can do that. You can slice it like the way that I've done as an appetizer and then dip it into the tonkatsu sauce.
Okay.
So it's almost like chicken fingers. It's like
Sure.
pork's version of chicken fingers.
Yeah.
Garnished with a little bit of green onion. Or you can serve it whole in a sandwich, and it's called katsu sando. Is the sandwich
like
version.
everywhere you go, they are there.
Yes, so in Germany they have a version, it's called Schnitzelbrötchen.
Okay.
Right, so in Japan they have katsu sando. I'm sure other countries have their version as well. Put a little bit of mayo on there, a little bit of lettuce,
All right.
a little bit of the tonkatsu sauce, and you're golden.
Well, thank you for sharing all of these wonderful things that you discovered when you were in Japan. You can find all of these recipes if you want to try this out. We encourage you to go to greattastemb.ca, have some fun with these recipes that Susan has made for us here. When we come back, what will Aaron do? Always the question. And we look forward to bringing him back on here in just a couple of minutes on Great Taste of Manitoba. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, brought to you in part by greattastesmb.ca. Local farms, local foods.